Hello and welcome to the show. It's Monday night, it's Pirates Cove time, and I hope sound and picture and light and everything is great. And I'm really happy to have a great guest tonight. Hello, Charlie Eger. Hello, welcome to the show.
Happy to be here. Thank you.
So Max is
Yeah,
also here because we hear the soundboard.
I was encouraged to use it more, so let's see how this works out.
Perfect. And we already have some people in the chat, and thanks to Helena for 27-month streak for your sub. Thank you, and hello to everybody in the chat. Yeah, we're going to speak English, obviously, tonight. So if you have questions, you can write them in German, and we translate. First question of the night, or of the day. Charlie, how are you? How are you feeling? How was your day?
It was a great day. Victory Monday is always a good day. It was a good weekend for us. Our club did well. We played well. Our guys played extremely well, and it's always good to have a Monday grading film after a big day.
That's right. We're going to talk about that game in Barcelona later on. But also, Max, how was your weekend and how are you feeling?
My weekend was great as well. I'm feeling fine. I've been to TNT Sports Bar to check out how this freshly scouted venue we found together, how it was holding up. It was holding up just fine. They streamed the game. I've watched the ELF game from there. I've got the chance to teach some people some stuff that I don't really know for sure. Other than
you explained why the field goal was kicked or snapped out of the end zone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and other than that, like the food was great, so I enjoyed myself, and now I'm sitting here on Monday and can't wait for the next time I'm watching the game there.
Oh, perfect.
Thanks for the sub.
Hey, Uncle Charlie, 14 months in a row. Thanks for your sub. Yeah, my weekend was also chilled. I didn't travel with the team, so I had a weekend off. But there were some games in Innsbruck. That's why I stayed in Innsbruck, because yesterday was a big game day at AFZ, American Football Zentrum, where our Team 3 and Team 2, like the Division 3 team and the AFL team played. And Division 3 team lost. Very close game. It was fun to watch some old teammates. Romit Zangele played quarterback, so couldn't score in the last drive. Heads up to the boys. They played a great season and they lost against the championship contender, so it's not bad. It was a close game. And then there was the Tyrolean Derby, Tells Patriots against Raiders, 50-27 for our Raiders team, so big win. Great atmosphere. There was thunderstorms in the middle of the game. That was kind of bad for everybody because it got cold and people waited, but it was also a good game and an historic win on Saturday. Our new women team won against the Jena Vikings ladies, 48-0, and Max can use the
Yes.
Max can use it. Yeah, no, I heard they didn't lost the game since 2008. They were champion forever. And for the girls there, it was great, and congratulations again. They're gonna have their first home game on the 30th of June in the football center. We're gonna promote it, and we hope obviously a lot of people are coming and supporting our women team. That's it from last weekend. I hope so. I hope I didn't forget anything. Let's talk about Saturday. First, it was a long trip, right? How was it? How did it work out? Was it different than maybe traveling on two other game days?
It was definitely different than traveling. In the past. Paul, you do an outstanding job. I don't know if everybody realizes how much you actually do to make the trips run smooth, and the transition from stop to stop was great. The hotels were set up first class for our players and our guys.
Perfect.
Trip was outstanding. Long.
Well,
but done professionally, just as good as it's been anywhere I've ever been. So
thanks.
Good
Thanks.
job.
I couldn't really relaxed on the first night because when I planned everything from here and then you guys left and I thought, okay, hopefully they get to the airplane. Hopefully the airplane is flying to Barcelona. Hopefully they get to the hotel. But I had a good connection to our equipment ladies and Ben, and they texted me, yeah, everything works out. And
Yeah, now I understand why you said that on Friday. We were on the phone and you were like, Max, have you ever realized that a plane was leaving on time? And I didn't know why why you were asking me that for. That was just random.
No, or landed on time,
Yeah.
or left on time. Because I never experienced that it's really like if the plane has to start or have to start at 10:15, that it really starts at 10:15. But everything worked out. Everybody came home safe and sound, so that's great. Yeah, Barcelona. They are now in their third. Is it the third or fourth season in the ELF? I'm not sure.
It's the fourth. They were one of the foundings.
In the first, yeah. And they had a big change, and now with Madrid also a second Spanish team there, so they lost a couple Spanish talent. We won the game by a lot, but how was the level? How was the game in comparison maybe to the first game against Milan and also the Vienna game? How was it for you coaches, sir?
I thought that Barcelona, their kids played extremely hard. Their players, they competed. It worked out in our favor, but they did a good job as a staff preparing their kids, and their kids played hard. From our perspective, our team as a whole did a great job of preparing themselves, competing, fixing mistakes from the previous weeks, growing as players. It was exciting for us to see a lot of things click, and can't say enough good things about just the way we handled all this, the situations and in the game, the timing of the game and the execution just before halftime. The play clock was down. The officials are holding it. So we had to manage the clock. Quarterback did an outstanding job. Players made plays, and we scored just before the half. And then we come out and we score right after the half. And that is a big growth, point in a program. So we were super excited about that offensively.
You as an offensive line coach, you're heavily involved in scouting of the opponents and also then in game planning. How happy have you been with the performance of the offensive line, especially with so much rushing yards and also rushing touchdowns? Did they improve? Because Uncle Charlie's asking that in the chat. Did they improve since week 1?
Yes, our guys have done an outstanding job, and we have a bunch of our starting 5. Right, it's not a whole lot of ELF experience.
Hey you! Yes, exactly you. Did you already subscribe to our YouTube channel? If not, do it now, down there, and activate the bell so you will never miss Raiders content again. Thank you for your support, and now you can continue watching.
So we have guys that are coming into the first time in the ELF, in Oscar's case, he hasn't really played much football at all. So it's going to take time. And from 7 weeks ago or 6 weeks ago, whatever it was now when we first got here, to watching the guys every single day, they work extremely hard. They're passionate. They study film. They study their film guides. They're into their drill manuals. They put a lot of time into getting better. And I don't think a lot of people realize, when you have 5 guys, right, that's really half the team that's on the field at that point in time when you're coaching the O-line. And we have to get them in sequence, right? They have to work and function together at once with one heartbeat, and got a little music going on here.
Yeah, it's always when somebody subscribe to the chat, and there's a guy, Eger Fam 23, so maybe somebody from home.
It's probably my son Drake, if I'm guessing, because it's got the 23 in there.
Yeah, so he already subscribed for 3 months. So thanks for the sub.
That's it. But no, once we get the 5 guys playing together, it started to click for us, and we're competing. And that's what I cared about. We were playing through the echo of the whistle is what we tell them, and our guys left all their energy and effort on the field, and there's been big strides. Pass protection's getting better, and then, we ran the football, right? How many times you can say you ran for 300 yards in the game? And we did it with 3 different backs. Our tailbacks played phenomenal. Yeah. And I have to give a shout out to Richie, our tight end. He did an outstanding. He's an extension of the O-line, right? He's right next to him, so we got to include him in that. And he made some incredible blocks. He did an outstanding job for us.
Great. We had some questions. There was one question that the lineup of the offensive line, the starting lineup, changed a little bit to week 1. And somebody asked if this is now the group which we're going to see in the next weeks, or is it are you
Sure.
trying things out? Are you
Sure. Everything's fluid, right? So with the offensive line, I've been doing this now. This is my 24th year in coaching, and I've coached at pretty much every level of football. I don't think I've ever started and finished the season with the same 5 guys. You know, unfortunately, at that position, things come up. You know, whether it's injury, you know, just different combinations of guys working together, because you have to be in sequence with your partner that's next to you, right? So you're always trying to find that cohesion, especially early in the season. And then injuries, you know, always dictate that. So we feel good about the lineup that we put out there, you know, but we have guys that are working extremely hard in practice, and you know, we'll continue to grow and take it week by week, but you know, we're looking for that cohesive unit, you know, as soon as we can build it.
Yeah. Max, you're a ex-defensive lineman, ex-defensive line coach, and you watched that game and you explained football to some people in the bar. Did you also explain them about the importance of the offensive line, or?
I think people know by now. I mean, like that whole reputation of the O-line has improved so much ever since the ELF was around, because you now see that's a couple of top athletes, and you don't see those, or rarely see those, like too chubby to play D-line guys. Those are like top tier athletes, all of them. And the question is also from the chat was, since the D-line talent across the league is improving year after year, if there is a need to put maybe an A import spot on the O-line, I would love to see it, really. I mean, if you have the chance to get so much homegrown and European talent at the skill positions that you can afford to put your A spots on O-line, that would be probably the most dominant offense ever, because it says something if you have the talent and also the confidence in your homegrowns.
Yeah.
If you then can spend it on 2 tackles or a center and a guard and attack, I don't know. Sky's the limit.
That would be the dream of an offensive line coach, to have probably US talent on the line. But yeah, there were some coaches before the ELF season talking about it, that with the cut of imports, we should add, or the league should add, an extra spot for an A and or an E import. So yeah, we will see. But yeah, Richie played an outstanding game. Uncle Charlie is talking about it. Richie was here in the show a couple of weeks ago, and for tight ends it's tough, right? They're not really an offensive lineman, and they are not really a receiver.
Right.
But Richie, I think, yeah, he's an athlete who can block.
and he spends an enormous amount of time in the office, you know, and I can't. Preparation is so important. Like, you know, a lot of people say, oh, these guys just show up and they play, and that's not true. I mean, Richie probably puts 6 or 7 hours in a day, right? Along with the starting O-line. Like, they're here all day, and they work, and they study film, and they go and have a workout, and then they lift, and then they run, and they watch film. They probably put 2 to 3 hours of film session in, whether it's opponent or drill tape, you know. And you can see Richie's growth just since I've been here, and his run blocking alone is growing exponentially. He's done a fantastic job, but he earned it. Like, he just doesn't show up. And I think that's the key to any youngsters out there that might be listening, is it doesn't always come easy, you know, and it takes repetition and time. And once you do it, it'll eventually will click, you know. But just we had a little bit of success and growth, and the growth is coming from the effort, you know. And I think it's important to let us know how hard, like, Alberto works, and Isaiah and Oscar and Toby, and those guys are here, and they care. They're passionate players.
Yeah, it's also, for me as a former offensive lineman, it's great to see them, and they're all big and strong, and they work their butts off, and they want to. I think they're really proud what they do, and this is something special for offensive linemen, right? That you don't get stats. No. It's not you don't get whatever. There's probably your name in the game book, but that's it, right?
Right.
On the roster. But so you have to be proud what you're doing, and no, it's a cool group of guys, I think.
And we got a unique situation here, right? So not only I'm the O-line coach here with pro experience, but our offensive coordinator was an offensive line coach in the NFL as well. So if you come here as an offensive lineman, you get a chance to be developed, you know, because you got 2 guys that are passionate about the position, have done it at the highest levels. So, it's an important. I think it'll be interesting to see how the growth continues for our guys and future incoming players.
Absolutely. So at the end we won that game. Also strong performance from the defense. I think our defense impresses me. I think what Coach Herman is putting on there is really like that's cool to watch. It's also something you probably not saw so often here in Europe, like with these safety blitzes and all these things. How happy are you that you don't have to coach against them?
Well, it all started on practice one. We had zero pressure and bear fronts. He's a phenomenal coach, Coach Herman. Great defensive coordinator, great mind, great leader. He's an outstanding leader. And unfortunately, I had coached against him. So we coached against each other in the XFL last year. So I got to see it all live, and so I was on the other side of the fence. So, but he's an outstanding technician. Our guys are playing extremely hard defensively, right? You got to be super proud, like I am as an offensive coach, to say that's our defense, and watch those guys compete every day. Get to see them in practice, and then on Saturdays they're doing just an amazing job. So glad they're on our side.
Absolutely. Yeah. We got a question regarding our quarterback. When does the new quarterback get announced? Greiner back to the AFL or two new A imports for the ELF? No, Greiner played last game yesterday. He played for the AFL. And our new QB gonna be announced on Wednesday night. Yeah, and also congratulations to Kaysen's performance. I think he stepped in. He did the job very well. He earned the fan MVP today. The fans voted for him, and thank you. And that's
what a great kid.
What a great kid, right? What a great story.
Great story, great leader. He did an outstanding job for us. In his role. He knew his role. He did it to the best of his ability. He made everybody proud. He's just an A+. You can't be more happy for him. And his family. I got a chance to watch, and I know our players love him, and as coaches, we're super proud of him.
Yeah, absolutely. GG, why GG? For 0 bits. Okay. The AFL imports both did a fantastic job adjusting to the ELF with almost zero preparation. Kaysen and Greiner. Yes, defensive tackle. They both stepped in. They understood their role, and this is what our GM Ulf Stoiber talked about last week in the press talk. We have a plan here. There's an A plan, there's plan B, plan C, and so on, and everybody's part of it, right? So we do things here not like this. We do things because we have a plan, and the plan now says new QB on Wednesday, and now Ricardo is changing the chat to
Plan
size
W.
-10. So now we're back. Okay, Coach Eger, before we talk about you and also the upcoming game, we have our billboard behind you, and you choose 3 emojis: the fire emoji, the thumbs up, and a beer. Can you explain us why?
Well, the fires, anyone who's been around me long enough to know is I got a little fire burning in my belly, right? So our players, they hear about it every day, chase them around the field. I'm extremely passionate, about football, and I love it. So the flame inside me burns to be great, and, I'm super proud to be a part of this organization. I can feel it when you walk in here. Being a Raider, it matters, and it's very exciting. So that's the first thing, is a little fire in the belly. The thumbs up is just I'm enjoying Austria. I love it. It's a beautiful country. The people here have been great. The food's been outstanding. So it's been a great experience. Our organization's top notch. Coaching staff has been phenomenal. So for me personally and professionally, it's an absolute thumbs up.
You enjoy your time.
I do. And then the last one is beer.
Good cold beer at night, right?
Good, and I wasn't, and I am not a beer drinker. And then I got over here, and I've been introduced to some of the local beers, and they go down very well. So I've enjoyed it. So that's one of the things I found here in Austria, is I do enjoy a nice cold beer.
That's great. Okay, we also have our Wall of Fame. We started it a couple shows ago. Every guest gets a chance to be on our Wall of Fame. So please sign your card there.
That reminds me, we gotta get an autograph card from Kaysen. he needs to be put up
He
there
was
as
in the
well.
show. Yeah.
Yeah, but back then we didn't have that wall.
True. Thank you. And Max is putting it up. And you can be next to Richie if you want.
Yeah, put me next to Richie. Richie's a winner. I love it.
Perfect. All right. Week 3 of the ELF is in the books. Some surprising results from last weekend. I think nobody expected Madrid to be that good. They
Memes of ELF did.
Yeah, memes of ELF. That's a fun bit. And yeah, of course, there are some results like ours from last week, which are a little bit higher, but there were a lot of close games, and we are now approaching week 4. Week 4 against the Munich Ravens. Can you maybe describe a little bit to the people out there how a week of a coach looks like for the Raiders? How do you approach an opponent?
Sure. Well, after the game, we grade the film. So all our films are graded as fast as possible to get our players' feedback from the previous week. So our guys get report cards from every single play. They get their own printout of each play and a comment and corrections or anything that needs to be addressed. So they get a whole 72 plays. They get 72 comments, 72. And they get graded on various areas, right? So we get that out to the players right away, so we can kind of put that last opponent to bed and make any corrections necessary moving forward that need to be made, and we hop on to the next opponent. And for us, we start our film breakdown always the Thursday, Friday before. So we had already broken down, Munich. We had 2 games already broken down and ready to go, so we were just waiting on the last game to get in. After we go through that offensively, I look at the run game because that's ultimately, what I do. That and the protections, and we try to build that. And you set it up where you watch all the film, you create a board formationally, and you kind of try to see what matches up for you, and you start to install what you think your core plays will be. Then the next day we build our third downs and our red zone packages, and so each day has a different focus area, so it's not like you just come in and say, oh, I want to run the ball up the middle, right? Because everybody loves to say, why'd they run it up the middle again? So there's no up the middle play. We have some zones, we have some different things that we do, but we come together to try to create what plays work best in different situations on the field that are time dependent, field zone dependent, personnel dependent, and you try to structure it to your advantage. And then, we have the last part of our week, is really about the mental preparation, making sure our guys have been able to go through their quizzes and their tips and reminders. And, we set our stuff up for our guys that it's very convenient for them to get to specific cut-ups on downs and distances and personnels that are appropriate to them in that position. So if you're an O-lineman, you get certain things. If you're a quarterback, you get certain things. And we spend a lot of time in preparation, try to make sure our guys have the best advantage they can, by film and reports.
Yeah. Film and reports. Football coaching is a lot, it happens a lot in the meeting room and not so much on the field. How would you describe yourself as a coach? Because there are coaches really let practice run and then analyze and do the things afterwards or do you really coach also on the plays?
Yeah, we're very we design things and we practice, certain plays and things because I believe in numbers, right? So casinos look really good for a reason, right? You go to the casino and they're really shiny and bright and a lot of cool stuff going on there because they got the numbers in a house favor, right? Yeah. So that's kind of the thought process behind trying to pick a certain player or formation, right? Let's put the odds in our favor, so that's real important to us. And then when we coach, you only get limited reps in practice, right? So you don't get to run a play 35 times. Like it just doesn't work that way. You get a couple shots for certain looks throughout the week, and what we try to do is not let those reps get wasted. So when you ask about coaching on the field, it's okay to give coaching cues, right? Because we always say catch the player being good, not catch the player being bad, right? So if you think that there's something they might struggle with, we'll give them verbal cues before we waste the rep because they're valuable, So we try to give code words and not long dissertations to stop practice because we practice extremely fast, but just allowing them to be successful, and just put them in the right spot as they're learning. And if they do it right the first time, even if they have some help, the second time it's better, and the third time it's better than that. Why let them screw it up? So to answer your questions, we're always coaching. Our mindset is to put our guys in the best possible position and then help them be successful.
Yeah. So a lot of preparation, a lot of video, a lot of talking with players and coaches, obviously, and then game days on Sunday. Without maybe telling too much details, but what can the Raiders fans expect from our offense this upcoming Sunday for our home opener? Because Raiders fans waited for it. We had now 3 games away.
Right.
Finally, we're at home, and I hope everybody's coming. So buy your tickets and come. But what do you think our guys will show on Sunday?
Effort and energy. Our guys are extremely passionate. We got this taste now of, we're 2-1 and we're starting to click on offense, and we're starting to feel comfortable in our system, So for us, it's really about showing our fans that we love this game, that we're putting the time in, and that you're going to see the guys play extremely hard.
What are you expecting from the fans also, or what are you looking forward?
Just the excitement and the noise being when on the field when the opponent's out there, not when we're out there, right? But I had a chance to obviously watch film and TV broadcasts from the past, and our fans are fantastic, right? So they bring energy, they bring, because players feed off of that, right? We know that, right? So if the crowd is full and the stands are full and the game day atmosphere is exciting and stimulating, it's going to make us play better. So the 12th man is our fans. We're very excited to be home, and I'm excited to see it because Raider Nation right now is, I'm on the tram every day or at the bus stop, and I see the sweatshirts and the hats, and they'll say, "Hey,
it's
Coach."
visible in the city, right?
It is, and they'll say, "Coach, we're excited," And I can't always communicate, but I know where they're getting at, right? So I usually say, "Yeah, good," but no, we're excited, and I know our fans are going to get this place rocking.
Yeah. Max, you are now also more in that fan perspective, right? You are
finally
after coaching so long and playing so long. What are you looking for Sunday? What is? The Munich Ravens. There is already a little history.
I'm looking for that little spark, that little extra, that coming from being the first home game of the year, coming from all that history going on between these two franchises, coming from our own guys being hungry for like a win and for the home game. So I'm just looking forward to seeing the Raiders play at home. Looking forward to that improvements to the game that you were mentioning here and there.
Yeah, we're gonna. I'm gonna talk about it.
Yeah, I'm just hyped. How about you, Paul?
I'm hyped. I'm also hyped because, first of all, 3 away games is tough for teams, for the team, for coaching staff, also for the organization, because it's a lot of things to organize, to think about, and then we have a respect for everybody, but game days in Milan or Barcelona are different than probably here in Austria, and we had to adjust to certain things, like Coach said, no game clock, no play clock, and for the people who saw the game, why did we kick the field goal out of the end zone? Because the field goals actually were not secure enough, so they moved them back, and then you had to adjust the distance to the field goal, and it was kind of a mess, to be honest. And so I'm hyped to have a home game, a good organized home game. I know that our event people are gonna create a great event, and we're gonna have a great pregame area, and we're gonna have it bigger than before, and we have a lot of food trucks. We're gonna have our fan march. What is English? March. Is it then March? Yeah. So our fans gonna meet in a little bit away from here, and then they march to the stadium.
That's awesome.
Like a little. Yeah, and they started it, and it's coming from the fans, and that's always cool, right? If it's not coming from us, if the fans starting things like that, and then I think the crowd gonna be crazy because everybody's waiting for that game, and like Max said, for that little game with some little spicy elements, let's say it this way, because there are some familiar faces. Right. There are some coaches, and also with Christoph Nitzelnader, former player of us, and it's gonna be interesting, and I think we're gonna be great, and it's gonna be a great game. Yeah. somebody asked why we didn't open the other side of the stadium. We thought about that, but if we open it up, we are not sure if the total number of fans will
Increase.
Yeah. And then you have probably half, and then you probably don't create that special atmosphere like it is at Tivoli Stadium. And so we decided to have everybody on their one side, and then if the ticket sales are going well, we can open up step by step. So it's gonna stay similar. And if you haven't bought your ticket yet, do it now, because stadium gonna be full. And if you want to have a good seat near the 50, I think it's almost sold out, the inner blocks, but outside there's still enough place. So Uncle Charlie's asking probably to you, Coach, how do you see the level of the top teams of the ELF? So how do you see the level of football here? You coached on almost every level in the States. You have a lot of experience. You saw European talent before through the camps you coached in Scandinavia. But explain a little bit, how do you see the level of football? Yeah.
The level of football here is continuously growing. It's exciting to be a part of it. It actually was at a higher level than initially that I had anticipated, which is outstanding. I've had former players from me that I've coached in college come over here and play here, in the Elf League. So I'm very familiar with it. And then when I was in the CFL, we had to analyze, all global players. So we had a lot of crossover and film there. And then we did the same thing when I was coaching in the XFL. And so I'm familiar with the league. I'm familiar with, the talent. And I think it's growing in the depth. And I think when any league moves forward and matures in years, it's about the core players, not necessarily the superstar. We want to look at, we have this one big time receiver, one great quarterback, because they get to make the play and the touchdown. Everybody gets to see that. But it's the core of the guys, the depth, where you can have 8 defensive linemen or 8, offensive linemen be able to roll, and the quality of play not go up or down, because the depth is there, and having multiple linebackers that can be on the field. You can see the growth in the development of those players, and I think that'll continuously push the league forward. It's not necessarily about the superstars, which they're always fun to watch. I'm a coach and I still like to watch them, right? So, but the core of the team, the deeper that gets, where the quality of the let's say the second string or the rotational players elevates to pretty close to the starters, that's when your league will continuously grow, whether that's through homegrown talent being developed in every country, or more imports, whatever it may be, but as that level, it'll continue to grow. And I can see it over the last 4 years. Like, I can see the growth in the league, and it's exciting, it's exciting to see. I'm super happy to be a part of it.
And there's a lot of high-class coaching in the league already, right? A lot of coaches with a lot of experience. I think only Frankfurt has an European head coach. The rest is all US head coaches with NFL and XFL and big college background. So that helps also to grow the sport of football here. And especially with us, I mean, you see it every day. We have our youth program, we have our teams over there, and they also they're gonna get coached by players you coach, right? So we have players coaching in the youth program, so they also get the benefit out of it, right?
Well, that's something, Paul, that's super awesome to watch, right? So you come to practice and you get to watch the youth kids, and the energy that they have, and the amount of kids that we have at that age is incredible. And the parents that are there supporting them, and because being a parent, having 4 kids, it's time consuming. My wife is a saint, because she handles most of it, right? Because I'm here, but I understand the time commitment from the parents, and it starts at the youth level. Then you watch our guys coach them, and I can't say enough about Flo, right? And he's a phenomenal energy, And our organization, as you look at every level, you get to watch the women's team practice, and they do a fantastic job. And getting to watch our organization at every team at every level all the way through, it's been a lot of fun, and it's really neat to watch this thing grow.
So if there are people still out there who don't know us well, come to a game, and come maybe to a ladies game, or come to a youth game. We are a really big family. We have in total over 1,000 members in all our sports, like basketball, cheerleading, cheer dance, flag football. So we are small college or a small athletic program from like in the States. Yeah, Johnny Schmuck is Thunder head coach. He's also German. That's right. Thanks for the tip. Okay, yeah. Let's talk a little bit about you and your career. Now, you said already you were coaching XFL and so on. Where and when did your football journey started?
My football journey, I started as a youth kid, right? So I think my first year I might have been 6 or 7 years old, and back then you could still, it was tackle. There was no flag football options or anything like that. So you got going in it, and
Pee Wee football.
the little guys running around. So, and it starts with the love there, So that started the journey, and it went on, and then it went on to college football, and getting to play, in college was an outstanding opportunity, right? It's not that many people get a chance to do that, and I got to play at 2 places actually. I was at Central Connecticut State University, which is an FCS Division I school, and then I was at Hofstra University, which was a powerhouse FCS school with lots of NFL players that's no longer in existence, right? Because they dropped the football program over years. But those are my 2 college experiences. And then,
did you play the offensive line?
No. Actually, I originally started off all the way up through till high school. I played quarterback, and then high school I played safety and receiver. And the kicking thing happened after I had 6 knee operations in about a year and a half. I ran running back an interception. I destroyed my knee, and then kicking became a thing that I could do. It was like physically able to do that. And I actually went on to be a kicker and a punter in college. And then I played in the Arena Football League for 4 years, and then had bounced around a couple NFL opportunities, and it just wasn't good enough. So, coaching was it, and that's what I enjoyed. So it started there, and then I had a chance to coach at Central Connecticut, where I finished and graduated from. And ironically, one of the second coach I worked for was by a gentleman by the name of Paul Sudell. He was a phenomenal football coach. He was at Michigan with Bo Schembechler and our head coach, Jim Herman. So Jim actually had one of the same mentors that I had, even though we have years between us in coaching. So that was kind of a cool connection. So I had coached there for about 11 years. And then I moved on. I coached high school football for 2 years. And then I went to Division III football. Did that for 3 years. Then I coached for 7 in Division II football in the States. In that time, I had worked in the NFL at OTA camps. So I had 3 years with the Rams. They were in St. Louis. And then the Pittsburgh Steelers offer a phenomenal program for OTAs and local coaches. So for 2 years, I got a chance to go to every practice and meeting, and it's an outstanding opportunity. So if any coaches are back in the States and are in Western PA, it's a great opportunity to meet coaches and learn the game from the professional level. And then from there, I had 2 years I guest coached for preseason in the CFL up in Winnipeg. And the Winnipeg Blue Bombers have been an outstanding force. And Coach O'Shea was really good to me up there. And I had a chance to meet Paul Lapalisse, who was the offensive coordinator. And he had taken a head job in Ottawa. And that's how I got my first full-time CFL job. And then after the CFL, I had a chance to join Rod Woodson in the XFL. So I did that, and I was there for a year and a half, this one season and the 6 months prior to. And then, unfortunately, on Christmas of this past year, 2 days before, the XFL decided to drop our franchise. So I was dropped, our franchise, Vegas, the Vegas Vipers was dropped. At the same time, San Antonio was, and that's where Coach Herman was. So we were both kind of in limbo late in the cycle, and just connection. So Coach Waffle, who was with the Rams 10 years ago when I did the OTAs with the Rams, I had known him from that, and we had reached out and communicated, and then, that's kind of how I coached against Coach Herm, and we kind of got together, and that's how this whole thing came together. So it's been an interesting journey. But
it's really an interesting journey. You came around, and I mean, you told us so many things now. It sounds like you're already 60 years in the game. I mean, you had some great stations. You were involved in every level of football, from high school to NFL and CFL, and every level and every part is different, right? Everything is different, right? A high school team is not an NFL team, obviously. How would you describe, or what would you say, what was the best time? Where did you enjoy most coaching?
I think I enjoyed it all. It's like it's hard to say. I think each level, each spot is a different experience. It's hard to obviously. The more you move up and closer to the higher levels of college football and then professional football, there's a lot more of the limelight, the TV broadcast, the fun stuff, right? That's around. So that has its own experience. But at the lower levels, it's about the bond with the player. So many players that you've coached that might have been on the lower level, the Division II, the lower levels of college football, become like lifelong friends, right? So I had a player that was my quarterback that came to my wedding when I got married, 10 years later, 8 years later, whatever it was. And so that bond was different. So that was special, so it's tough to say like this one was better than the other, but there's special moments along the line everywhere, and so many kids that I go back, even when I coached 2 years of high school football, that the philosophy of how we approach the game has helped them in life, so I think every level's special. Everyone has a different connection, so yeah, they're all valuable to me. They're all personal and great experiences, so I can't pick one over the other.
You said that you already had a lot of links to European football, but then after the CFL cut your program, a call came and you decided to go to Europe. Why?
A lot of great things. I had Richard Canoodle, who had played over here, was one of the top receivers in the league, played for me, and he loved it over here, and he actually had reached out a couple weeks ago, so that was important. And then, we had players in the Raiders in the past that had played for me, and they loved it here. They loved the organization. They said great things about it, and so that was intriguing to me, and getting to know it, and getting to watch the film. That was all part of it. But really a big part was back in 2018-19, a college teammate that runs the Swedish youth programs up in Malmo and the southern parts of Sweden, and I had gone over to do camps, and he said, because in college he was a Boston guy, I'm from New York, so he's like, come on over. He's like, these kids love it, right? They want to learn, like it's a new sport. And it was the camps is called the Northman football camps, and they do a phenomenal job of giving kids opportunity and teaching, and talking and teaching with the kids. They listened, they loved it. It was like everything you said, they stared at you. They were so intrigued and wanted to learn, and it gave me a really good feel of what could happen in Europe with football, and from that camp alone, I was still coaching in college. I brought 2 kids back on scholarship.
Oh, really?
So we had scholarship 2 kids to come back, and then a third later on, so that was, one of those kids being Theo Landstrom, who's playing in Hamburg, so I've had a lot of connection over the last couple of years with Europe, and some really good kids and some people that loved it here and had great experiences. So my family and I thought that this could be a really great opportunity, and that's what made me do it.
We have a Swedish offensive lineman. Did you already met him at these camps? Was he there?
No. Oscar and I didn't cross paths. Okay. We know some coaches that we share acquaintances with some coaches that coached him, but I did not actually get a chance to see him in the past. So, but so it's good to have a Swede down here, because those kids they work extremely hard up there.
And Scandinavians are normally bigger and large men. And I mean, Oscar, you don't see that often. He's a really tall man. Yeah, interesting. I think we could talk another hour, but show is coming slowly to an end. And I want to remind again everybody out there, please come to our game on Sunday at 4:25 in Tivoli Stadium. It's going to be a great day of Raiders football. It's going to be a great atmosphere, and you heard it. We're going to have a lot of young men out there playing with effort and heart, and they're going to they're going to put up a show, I think. I'm sure. All right. Yes, we have also our song of the day, and Coach Charlie told me before that he wants the chat to give a song of the day. So chat, if you have a song of the day, the first song which got written into the chat gonna be on our playlist. And in the meanwhile, Max is telling us his song of the day.
All right. My song of the day is Places to Be by Fred again, featuring Anderson .Paak, which is a great singer. And so that's my song of the day.
All right, and I don't know this
Murder
song.
on the Dance Floor.
Murder on the Dance Floor. What is it?
Murder on the Dance Floor. It's a little bit older, like 10, 15 years, maybe even 20.
Is it a good song?
It's Murder on the Dance Floor.
Okay, we put it
When
on
I
this.
feel the groove.
Okay, Woma 12, you made the song of the day, Murder on the Dance Floor. It's gonna be on the playlist, and I'm gonna choose.
Let's go, Paul. No
Queen,
stress.
and from Queen I take Bohemian Rhapsody, which is
It's
probably
gotta
already
be on there.
already on there.
I'm waiting for Eager Family 23 to pop up. My son loves that song.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm waiting for a comment.
Cool. Good. Yeah, if you guys have a question to Coach Eger or to us, then put it in a chat. If not, Max, do we have to say anything else? Did I forget anything?
We gotta remind you guys once more that there's a fan march going on before the game. I think you can find out about that on our socials.
And on the Facebook group of our Raiders fans. So the Raiders fans have a Facebook group called Raiders Fans Tirol, and there's an event, and all the informations are going to be in there. So the meeting point and the time and everything, and we also going to repost that. Yeah. And we have a question there.
Yeah.
From defense tackle, you can see a lot of pro style influence in our offense, especially, like for instance playing with a tight end 11-21 personnel and not just use them for blocking. We never really did that previously. Max knows that, unfortunately, because Max also played tight end a little bit. Cool to watch a different offense style. Yeah, I mean that's a compliment to the coaching staff. Huh?
And if I could, real quick, for our fans that come to the game during pregame, down in my area during warm-ups and stretch, I usually have football, so we have any little guys, girls that are in the stands that want to come down to that corner where the offensive line is. Typically what I've done over the years is we play catch for a little bit with the kids before the game. So if we got any youngsters in the stadium early, they're more than welcome.
Oh, that's going to be in the north east corner. So if any kid is already there, can hop over the fence. I will be there and take care of that. And then when warm-up starts, you have to leave again.
Yep.
Yeah, defense tackle is also asking about Philipp Timmermann, who got injured in Milan. He's getting better. But it was, like we said last week already in the show, it was a serious concussion, and that's not a joke. And the brain is also like a muscle, need time to recover and need time to heal. But he's doing better, and he will be in the stadium on Sunday. And yeah. Philip, if you're watching it, all the best on this way also. Good. Then we are coming to an end, and we also have one more thing, right? We have on Saturday, our AFL team is playing their last game away in Salzburg. So if you are in Salzburg, in the Salzburg area, go to the Dachspond and support our Raiders there. Their season is coming to an end. And on Sunday, all of our national team players are leaving for the World Championship to Canada. That's also one thing. We're gonna post that also on our social media, and then obviously on Sunday, our home game day, with a lot of cheerleaders and with a lot of pre-game stuff and everything. Good, that's it for today. A long Monday comes to an end. Max, your last words into the camera.
Really nice that Coach Charlie took the time and opportunity to go in the show. It was really nice talking to him. Thanks for you guys for tuning in and always supporting the show and supporting the Raiders. Keep on doing that. Let's see you on Sunday, and let's just party hard in the stadium.
Coach, your words to the audience out there.
Can't wait to have an opportunity to meet everybody and listen to you guys cheer us on. We're excited to go get this win.
Thank you very much, Coach, for being here today, that you spent an important hour, maybe, of your time. And I also got the reminder, on Sunday is also the under-6 and under-9 flag tournament at the football center. So if you want to see our small kids playing, go there and then come to the ELF game. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all the support. There were even fans in Barcelona. Thanks for everything. You guys make it special for our players, and yeah, Sunday is going to be great. We see you in the stadium. Macht es gut. Ciao, Kakao.